fertile fields of wheat and barley, skyscraping pyramids, cities of magnificent wonder and awe.
This is the Egypt that we all once knew, our home, our sacred paradise.
But that Egypt is a thing of the past. Our fields underwater, our pyramids reduced to rubble, our cities drowning in industry's negative externalities.
We are both Walid Masri, and we come from the Egypt in the year 2111, where we face the terrible consequences of climate change. By 2016, countries all over the world have emitted in total 515 gigatons of CO2, more than 60% of the world's projected budget, and the remaining 40% was used up by 2048. Though these numbers seem minimal, their effects have catastrophic potential.
Egypt has had a 4 degrees Celsius average temperature increase, a 10% precipitation drop, half-meter sea level increase, and thousands dying from Cairo's putrid air. These are the inevitable problems that there's no turning back from. The two of us come from different timelines. One where Egypt has committed to saving the country's people and economy,
And one where the country didn't try to make a change. I come from this very bleak future. Until 2030, Egyptian economy was thriving. Petroleum production and exporting kept providing the country with a growing GDP as well as the country's agriculture sector. But that soon changed. I come from the great city of Alexandria, located in Egypt's Delta region. The rising seas will not only sink the country's fertile farmland, but also devastate the Egyptian economy. Alexandria is home to 4 million Egyptians and 40% of Egypt's industry. By 2050, the Delta region saw a half-meter sea level rise, displacing over two-thirds of Alexandria's population and destroying two-thirds of the city's industry. The rising sea levels didn't only affect Alexandria, but also other cities and coastal areas in the Delta. Agriculture in the Delta was reduced by 20%. By 2070, most of Egypt's petroleum trading partners had backed out of trade negotiations due to their switch to cleaner energy production methods. By sticking to the status quo, the entire country of Egypt was decimated. Its GDP reduced by 40% from 2016, leading to a revolution in the country in an unstable state.
but what if the government did something about the atrocities that were to come? In my timeline, they do. In 2016, the Egyptian government realized that their country was in grave danger and started taking appropriate measures to combat the impending changes in climate. The first change came with energy. By finding the largest natural gas reserve on Africa in the Mediterranean Sea, the natural gas industry in Egypt provided a clean and fruitful bloom. By 2030, Egypt transitioned to natural gas as the main source of electricity. This reduced carbon emissions in the electricity sector by 50%. This also boosted Egypt's economy as they were able to sell their coal that they no longer used to other countries. By 2050, Egypt's renewable energy sector was built up to support 50% of the country's electrical grid. The large natural gas reserve found in the Mediterranean Sea became fully developed, and excess natural gas was sold to private compressed natural gas companies, or CNG companies, domestically and internationally. Domestically, the CNG was subsidized as to allow for more CNG vehicles on the road. This change was targeted in major metropolitan areas, specifically Cairo. Cairo's air pollution problem was a result of older vehicles on the road that were not regulated. These vehicles lacked emission-cutting technologies that would reduce the air pollution in Cairo greatly. Now with public transportation running on CNG, pollution was greatly reduced. To address the problem of normal citizens' cars, there was a trade-in program where the government bought back older, pollutant-emitting cars in order for people to then buy newer cars with emission-cutting technologies. Vehicle pollution was not the only problem they addressed. Starting in 2017, a cap-and-trade program for all businesses in the country was initialized. Each company has a carbon emission cap based on their size and location. If a company is not on track to use their entire allotment of emissions for the year, they can put the rest of that allotment up for sale through the government for a small fee. If a company plans on exceeding their cap for the year, they can purchase more allotments for a price. This regulation would allow the entire country of Egypt to control how much carbon pollution they give off and how much is given off in certain areas.
With all these changes, Egypt stayed on its upwards climb and is now a wealthy and thriving nation. But this only happened because the people in our country stood together. Both consumers and producers saw the necessity of making a change in our country, and we all prospered from their benefits.
Every country here today faces the same challenges that we faced. Here in 2016, you were all given a choice: to stay the same and end up in a bleak, hopeless future, or make a change and prosper in the future. No matter what has happened in the past or what changes are yet to come, any country can make it through these tough climate changes by being united as a change for good.